and they'll highlight the challenges we face in these areas. Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, who incarnated in 1888 on 14th September and lived 81 years of his mortal life in the physical form. And in these 81 years, what he did is beyond imagination and comprehension of most people. So today we will get a glimpse into his life, into his ideology, into the vastness of the deep traits that he left behind, the legacy that he left behind. We are like he became a savior, a beacon of light, hope for people who are in distress, who are in duress, who are given up hope. And to start today in this seminar session, I would like to call one of our old followers of Sri Thakur. He also serves as the president of Satsang Subrat Mahanti, and he will touch on an important topic. For the topic, we say, students of chemistry say that covalent bonds are strong, iron bonds are stronger. But when it comes to social bonds, we say about brotherly bond. So unity is strength, united we stand, divided we fall, and to highlight this particular bond of unity, we speak of brother. Now, what is actually brotherhood bond? Alternately, what is universal brotherhood? How do we achieve that? Their importance is what Subrat Mahanti will highlight on today. Subrat, can you please come over to the dais? Subrat Mahanti.
बंदे लोक तिलकम शास्त्रपात विभूषण अमर प्रत्युषां प्रौढ़ लोक जीवन प्रणय प्रमत्त ग्राव जीवन वंदे जीवन सत्पुरुष जय everyone. Good morning. Hope you all are settled. I know probably this is not the right time to start, but we have to start. We are bound by the time. I see a lot of people, many people are not here. They are all working or either gone out to do something. And we all know, and those who don't know may be surprised. Like as per Asitra, 85% of today's crowd have come from all across US. Isn't it a good thing? Very nice thing. Why we came here? All because of our love and affection towards Thakur and among each other. But if we go and look outside the world of Satsang, we will see the whole universe, the entire civilization is in chaos. Mere anarchy is spread across countries and continents. All radicals, elegant, systematized, and analytical analysis have failed to have a better life and to restore peace and tranquility within us. The cultural conglomeration is majorly failed, even though we have many organizations like United Nations. We are forming different groups of countries. G20, G15, G11, G13, you name it, we all are there. But peace is not there. We don't like each other. Why we are failing? And that's why today we are here to discuss about universal brotherhood. We are still in the dark, searching for or to protect us from the degeneration of life. And when there is degeneration of life, there is no question of brotherhood. And that is because our mind is not enlightened that much. And we are still, that is because of our solidarity nature, our individualistic behavior that's keeping us aloof. What is that? That because like we have a feeling of this is mine, that is yours, that is his, that is her, and all this kind of thing. And that's how the brotherhood is absent. And thousands of years before, the great saint Manu in Upanishad sorry, the slides are not moving. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Just got a request that don't do any pranami right now. Wait for some time. And once we do it. How it is moving? How it is moving? Double click. So as I was saying, thousands years before, Manu, the saint Manu, told in Upanishad, Ayam Nija Paravati Gadana Laguchetasam. That means, that is mine, this is yours, and that only the thinking of Laguchetasam, those who are narrow-minded or very rough-worded, weak-minded, and that is not we are not broader enough to think about the Vasudeva Kutumbakam, what he says, like Udara Charitam to Vasudeva Kutumbakam. That means the whole world is ours, is one. And the whole world, the Vasudeva Kutumbakam mantra cannot be realized unless we grow universally. When there is no harmonious total growth, we cannot grow, because harmonious total growth, if it is absent in world, then countries cannot grow. If countries cannot grow, the society cannot grow. If society cannot grow, families cannot grow, and if family cannot grow, we as an individual cannot grow. Because, as we always say, human being is a gregarious animal. He lives in society. And we have different status. Individual, the extension of individual is family, extension of family is society, extension of society is country, extension of country is the whole world. So, the pivot of everything is Kare Sabda Vilasa, Dhama Dhama Nirakat Chale, Aveni Chakravasa. So when our growth is there, when our liberal glow is there, that's how we will be, our personality will be developed. How? Because our complexes will get adjusted. When our complex gets adjusted, that invites the upward of existence. And upward of existence brings compassionate sympathy. And compassionate sympathy gives birth to the integrity. From integrity, it comes power. And power evokes the harmonious total growth. That means, in short, the harmonious total growth is when we will be getting attached to Sisi Thakur or the source or the supreme love. Isn't it? And that's why, because when we are getting attached to one living ideal, that's how we have a purpose, one purpose, and we have a certain principle, Jadan Jadan Iskavriti Swastha Kadaccha. Everybody who will be having the center, who will be having but Sisi Thakur in their life, they all have to follow the same principle. And we have a purpose like having the harmonious total growth. And that's why Thakur says, unity in purpose and unison in principle begets amity and brotherhood. And that's why we are here, the universal brotherhood under the fatherhood of God. We need to have a living ideal, we need to have Sri Thakur in our life to realize the real universal brotherhood. Bande Guru.
Very nice golden words, Subrat Bhai. And now to continue with the flow and tempo, we have the next speaker. It's my privilege to call her a very scholarly follower of Sri Thakur. So don't go by her divinity figure. Okay, she is a PhD, Dr. Sanchari Kullu. You're not going to get? Okay, sorry. She will do a PhD someday. Okay. So Sanchari will speak on the three fundamental tenets of life as we understand it. We call these principles as Jojan, Jajan, Ishtavruti, or people from North call it Yajan, Yajan, Ishtavruti. So she will speak about these principles, the very essence of these principles, why, how we practice, and what's the benefit of that. Sanchari, please come.
So the topic of my discussion is Jordan Jordan and Ishtavruti, three pillars of life. Jordan can be seen in the light of one of the basic importance of self-elevation that enhances one's own life and growth. It is a process like we all want to be successful in our life. Students, researchers, everyone work hard in order to be successful. Without that, we cannot be successful. In our childhood days, when we learn some mathematical formula, without practicing and like hanging it on the wall will not help in our exams. We need to practice it. Thakur is also like that. If you don't practice and just hangs up his photo and put an incense stick, we are not going to feel his blessings. We need to do something in order to feel his blessings. So when we walk to our school or the market, if we are late, we always tend to rush, and in the process, we get an anxiety and stress and so many things. What if we woke up 5 minutes early instead of like not snoozing our alarm button, we will have been late. Most of us over here, I think we do Ishtabiti and we say, Ami Okrati, Ami Omani, Ami Niralash. But when we put on the snooze button for like 5 minutes, how are we Niralash? It's like we are not perfect, but we are trying to be perfect by practicing it. Similarly, a lot of people think that reading Thakur's book is so difficult and hence will take the help of a lot of open sources in order to know about Thakur. Sri Thakur points out in Satyanusaran, a mother's love for her child is so great that because she takes care of her child in her own hand. Ganesh, we know that if we break down the word, Gan means for people and Ish means God, so the God of people. These all minor things we come to know only when we go deep into the word and try to break the word to know the whole meaning of the word. So in our similarly, our current Acharya Dev has said, I just narrated it in English, it might not be the perfect one, but the message is like, why will I listen from others? I will know by reading myself. There is nothing called a tough language. many books are written in easy and simple language which are easy to interpret and they are easily available nowadays. The first line of our Shastani mantra asks us to take care of our health as it is a temple. God is also like that. We need to take, our body is also like that. Like in order to be healthy, we need to take care of it like physically, mentally, and spiritually. A research group from Columbia University has worked on like how inappropriate diets and sanitary condition can lead to which is the lack of hygiene, which we call sadachar in our language, triggers lots of neurological changes and inflammation in the brain. In the process, it also triggers kind of like lot of other diseases like stress, and I also came to know that Alzheimer's disease is one of the like common disease in people who are suffering from obesity. It's like eating controls our complex mindset. It's like they control our anxiety, depression, memory, and learning. The message of Sri Sri Thakur on proper vegetarian diet and meditation through Sadguru Path, and it's like commendable to know that he has already taught us or shown us the path that by doing meditation and leading a healthy life with proper vegetarian food, we can grow physically, mentally, and spiritually, and have a healthy lifespan. So when I'm working on the lab, I'm sincerely engaged in my work. Only when I'm engaged with my work because I love my work, I come to know the minor details of my work, and then only I'm able to get proper results. Without that, I will not get any results, and that is also what Jajan about. It's about self-elevation to the process of sincere engagement. There was once a person who came, once a Muslim who came to Thakur and who got initiated and said what I'm supposed to do now? Am I supposed to leave the reading namaz and follow your path? So Thakur's reply was, first read the namaz and then do your prayer. That will help to reach your God in much better way. He never liked to disregard any other community or God. He never supported that. So he has shown by practicing all the aspects, also hygiene and in an integrated system, our motor sensory coordination will be more perfect. Our receptivity and perceptivity will increase, by meditating with the holy name, with the living ideal, will increases the sharpness and receptivity of the brain cells. The thing is that the continuous uttering of the same name increases the pressure on the spinal cord and the pineal gland, which helps to release a chemical called melatonin. It helps for good sleep, circadian rhythm, happiness, and well-being. So these are all the common basic things of Jajun which we can do, and these are very simple process in order that can help to fulfill the aspect of the commandment that relates to God. I've seen people, I used to stay in New Hampshire before, and I saw people were working on different plants birch, maple, and wherever. When I shifted to Virginia, I saw people are working mostly on the agricultural crops. They're working on the agricultural crops. So it's just based on the environment and what the weather needs us. It's all about now if we talk about Jajans, when we talk to people, it's saying what's the world needs, and so it's basically been called being behavioristic and approaching and talking to people. Here, most of the people I've seen doing backyard gardening. So before they get some good fruits, they need to take proper care of the soil, the plants, and etc. So as Shubhadada says, we want a good society. To get that and also to get a good people, we'll have to do something for that. Only if you do something, then only we can get something. Without knowing about them or know what they need and approach them accordingly, we'll never able to do Jajan. That's not called the proper Jajan. There are people who thinks that like I cannot like talk to Thakur about Thakur and what will people think. But people and also like think that like we'll think about our the religious activities, which is actually not, it's a scientific practice of living. We'll think about our retirement, but it's still led by that. So why not do something and tell something that's good for people and do it from beforehand? Jajan refers to the activity to contribute to the life and growth of others, or more broadly of our environment. This is virtually the same aspect of the commandment when it says like to love your neighbor as yourself. It seems quite fitting symbolically, as Jesus also said, other than like taking care of like your neighbors, is like so long you have clothes and food, try to help and feed other people who in need or do have and do something for them. Our work potential increases as a result of Jajan. And find more on like the more we talk to people, the more we get in touch with people, our community, we come to know that what they need. And moreover, like we also come to know and tell people like how is life without him, his blessings, and how life can be once you have him. So if the way we can like talk to people, it also like increases like our motor sensory coordination. Now coming to the third one, like Ishravati. If I like Ishravati in Bengal, it means like Ishtar Bharan Poshon Puran Odharan, which means to earn and spend to serve the Lord. It's a way to, so it's basically it's a way to serve your Lord. So for example, like researchers in their life, they love to work on their research and spend hours in the lab. And they keep on practicing and like even if they fail, they do it, go the next day to find a good result, a better result. So that's what goes for Ishravati. You keep on doing the same thing every morning. The more you follow, the more your love increases for him. People also think that why do you need money? Or why do you need to give money to God? Where does this money go? Won't we die if we don't do Ishravati? So Ishravati is like a vaccine to us that helps to reduce our greed. Every morning when we pray to him, and like we know like at the end of the month we'll have to send our Ishravati. So our motion is like we'll have to earn to do the Ishravati. That counts the motive. Like that helps to reduce your greed. That's what I feel and I understand. I myself use it as a source of strength. When I say like Ami Okradi, Ami Omani, I'm not the perfect one, but I try to reduce or try to act accordingly. In Bhagavad Gita, once Sri Krishna has said it, and translating in English, I'll not be able to utter that. So, who is not attached to Sadguru through Satnam, the person is not intelligent. They cannot think properly, the person is unhappy. So, Ishravati is the first entry gate of getting attached to Thakur. As an outcome of Ishravati, like people will say, what, won't we die if we don't Ishravati? Yes, definitely we are going to die, we are not immortal. But I feel that we don't fear for death. We don't realize that whatever life, whatever days we are going to be here, we are going to enjoy and like happily spend our life. As my loved Lord says, it saves from big dangers like plane accidents, bombs and all everything. It sparks our life urge, upliftment and enlightenment. To conclude, to my knowledge, I don't know anyone who has not been benefited by following his path, the basic ones are Jajan, Jajan and most importantly Ishravati. His blessings are always there, we just need to feel it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sanchari. So, Jajan Jajan Ishtavriti Korle Kate Mahabhiti. In Hindi, Yajan Yajan Ishtavriti Karne Se Kate Mahabhiti. The biggest fears of mankind are allayed by following these principles. As long as we live under fear of any kind, fear of uncertainty, in modern world, we may be in a plush job today, we never know when we'll get the pink slip tomorrow or not. We are not sure. So people live in different kinds of uncertainties. We can't release or enjoy the life completely there. So but by following these principles ardently, we can ensure we remove these fears from our life and we can really enjoy it. करत करत अभ्यास ते जड़मति होत सुजान रसरी आवत जावत ते सील पर परत निसान. She spoke about this constant practice that often excels even talent, as per Cicero, the Italian philosopher. So we continue, and now how do we create this unconditional love for a supreme beloved in our life? The importance of accepting an ideal and a living ideal, particularly in our life. So I would like to call upon an ardent disciple of Sri Sri Thakur, who we have seen in many utsav, who travels from west coast to east coast across the length and breadth of the nation whenever as and when needed. So he is Gauri Shankar Dev, like many of us here. He is also an IT engineer, but many of us look up to him for the dedicated service that he serves, that he uses to serve his Supreme Lord. So Gauri Shankar Bhai, please come and tell us the importance of having a living ideal in life.
My dear brothers and sisters, in the great city of Atlanta, it gives me immense happiness to speak on the topic today. Why carrying out the command of the living master is crucial for a holistic life. This sentence is a question mark. Why it is important? There are few things to think about when I see this sentence. Who is the living ideal or master or your love center? What is holistic life? What is meant by and how to carry out the commandments? And finally, why carrying out this commandment leads us to a holistic life. What is holistic life? We as an individual in this world, we live in this world with so many aspects of a social life. We have a life which we spend in our home, with our children, with our parents. We have friends. There are many aspects, if you see. We have, in our life, we have influencers who influences us to do good. Once, a great American war veteran and an actor, his name was Robert Bob Cumming, came to our Supreme Beloved Sri Sri Thakur and asked, what happens when your ideal or your living masters, when we surrender ourselves to ideal or a living master. To this, Sri Sri Thakur lovingly said, the ideal's concerns gets a primacy in an individual's life. And our practices, our way of life, the happiness we get becomes automatic. Our spiritual quest becomes automatic. And that made him a very satisfied man. Now the question is, who is the living ideal? As an individual, I may have, Sachin Tendulkar, the great cricketer in my life. He's a great cricketer. If I love Sachin Tendulkar, then I cannot be best because I idolize him. I can be a best cricketer. If I idolize if the famous car maker like Henry Ford, I can at best be a wonderful car maker like him. But that gives me only a one dimension to our life, but it does not give me the complete. As I said, because we have many different faces, the many different dimensions to our life, right? And that's why we need to have a living master who is someone like Jesus Christ, someone like Lord Krishna, someone like Lord Buddha. They're all masters. They're all masters. They come at a certain age. And if you see, if we love him, then as Sister Thakur says, the ideals concerns becomes a primacy in one's life. So I'll share and give few examples how I felt, how some of the things, some millions and millions of people who love, who have the love center in the form of Thakur in their life has changed. We live in a small town called Chandler in Arizona. And I live with my wife and my two kids. Our present master, Sisi Acharya today, when we went to Devghar, our ashram, main ashram,
we can have more space here for sitting.
has said
If Thakurji sends more people,
to do social service.
podium bhi hata
Now many people think, okay, social service,
quickly
I got to do
dismantle
it.
karna chahiye.
And then, by doing that, why do we do, can I do social service and why he has said it to me? If I think all that thing, I can get, different answers, I can get different thoughts, but I won't think that because I love him, his concerns is automatic towards me because he's my love center. Whatever he says, I got to do it with all my life, with all my energy. The reason I am sharing you this collage is an example for my life, my feeling, and how it transformed me. I was a person, I lived in Bangalore, India, and I was a person who used to love Thakur. I used to go to the ashram, I was a big food lover. I used to eat a lot of food, I won't do anything. And I just come by and I won't do any work. And this year, he said, okay, you got to do social service. You have to feed the people. So we went, me and my wife and my two little children, and we went there in Arizona. We did a lot of, because serving food here to the people here, it's a very difficult task because there are a lot of rules, a lot of regulations. And finally, we could start it. And it was very difficult because we had to go every morning. Every weekend we used to go the weekly service morning at 5 a.m. in the morning with my little kids. One is 1.5-year-old. Take them there, cook the food. He blessed us to cook the porridge, which we call khichdi. And the place we do the service, you can see here, the St. Vincent. And 250-300 people consumes food with love. And it's a vegan food. And lots of experience happened. And I see myself after doing it for 3-4 months. Me and my wife were discussing why we're doing this, We just did it because he is the main person in our life. And I could think back that I, as a person who was so lazy, now started to cook food and deliver to hundreds of people, without bothering our comfort, going at 5 a.m. in the morning. But why it happens? Why it happened? If I think, I mean, probably, somebody says, so I put out this question, and I asked this question to myself. If you think that previous scholars, if I ask you the question, what do you think about this above picture? Is it a social service, or it is fulfilling the commandments of a beloved living master who is the love center of my life? It is not a social service. I do this because he says I have to do it. And it is for me, and it transformed me from a lazy person to a compassionate man who can think about others. We cannot live alone in the society. So it can only happen when we fulfill the commandments of our beloved master. And as I said, every individual in this world got to have a love center. Without love center, we will be eccentric. So, I would say this is the experience we got, and I just shared one of the many experiences we have having Sisi Thakur as our supreme beloved living master, and how fulfilling his commandments through our acts, through our thoughts, through our discussions. Me and my wife in my home, our 70% of our discussion will be around that. So it's all positivity. There's no place for negativity in our life. Whatever situation we may come across, whatever situation, be it my job, be it anything, because he is present in our life as our love center, and fulfilling his commandments is my only wish, and I try to do that. So with that, I offer my pranam to Sisi Thakur. Bande Purushottam, adorations to fulfiller the best.
Jai Guru Gaurida, that is a great story of transformation. Many such talents remain latent in the follower. Whenever you speak of a disciple, this name of Lord Hanuman comes to our mind. He was follower and keen disciple of Lord Ram. He himself was not aware of the powers that lie within him. Unless Lord Ram came, evoked them and sort of enlivened them. And when we see Lord Hanuman's picture, just think of his picture in mind. We see he tears open the chest and shows Lord Ram and Sita in his heart. That's very symbolic. He is one who lives in his mind constantly. They say in Hindi, Tera man darpan kahlaye, bhale bure, और कर्म का दिखे और दिखाएगा, right? So the term living ideal, Jivat Adarsh in Sanskrit actually means a plain mirror. Like I have to see the reflection of myself to know if things are okay with me, if my hair is combed properly, and many mothers who have come here, they would have spent a reasonable amount of time to do that today. We all do. Similarly, living ideal is one in whose life which is the reflection of our life. And we can set things correct and otherwise very wrong. And one of them is finding these points of catalysts that can transform our life. So very nice anecdote and stories. Gauri Bhai, his initiative has actually inspired many. And then across the United States, our brothers are taking initiative to start this Satsang to help the brethren in the society nearby who are less privileged than many of us are. So, very nice, we'll continue with the flow, universal brotherhood, yajan yajan ishtapriti, the need of a living ideal, and now to combine all of this. What is it that we understand as dharma? What is being and becoming of life? What are the fundamental principles that bring it all cohesively together to strike that sonorous harmony that Subrat Bhai spoke about? So I would now like to call upon a very young and dedicated disciple of Sisi Thakur. He has come all the way from Minneapolis Vishwajit Gaut, he will enlighten few words on being and becoming of life. Jai Guru everyone. It's my honor and privilege to be here with all of you today. And as Dada was saying, the topic that I have is being and becoming, which basically, whatever my previous speakers have said, just like combines them all. So this is my one slide. Okay, so I'm done. Jai Guru. So being and becoming. First, so being, right? So we all are beings. At least we know that. And when we say being and becoming, without being, there is no becoming, or without becoming, there is no being. They are intertwined with each other. Satta, Satchidanandamaya. So, Satta is the Sanskrit word for being, which comes from the word, the dhatu, root word, as. As means astitto, existence. And that is our being. And so when we say being and becoming, for all of our being, we need someone like us, like in flesh and blood, with whom we can interact, with whom we can speak to, with whom we can share our feelings. And it cannot be a tree or a stone or something like that. It has to be someone in living, with whom we can share our whatever our feelings and everything. Having said that, I just want all of us. So let's take this as in like whatever my previous speakers have said. See like this Bani, like let's see this word and then the next following one Bani, where all those topics fit into. So let's try to think on whenever we see these lines. So the energetic stimulus of existence. So energetic stimulus of existence. When I say energetic stimulus of existence, can we like think for a second like who is our energetic stimulus of existence? Who is the paramount thing in our life? As I think just to give you a hint, like one previous speakers have already spoken about that. Right? So this energetic stimulus of existence, that is the main thing in our being and becoming, or in our existence. So and this is the Bani that I was speaking about. So this Bani, let's think whatever our previous speakers have said, this energetic stimulus of existence, which is we can think of as I was saying, living ideal. So this living ideal only can be our energetic stimulus of existence, with whom we can share our feelings, our thoughts. He is the parameter. Looking at whom we can lead our life, adjust our life. So which acts on everyone according to our own thoughts. So whatever thing, whatever traits, whatever attributes we have, according to that, which acts on everyone, that is this energetic stimulus of existence. And the way it pushes us to live and grow, which is nothing but the law of life or dharma. So there comes dharma, which to live and grow, as Thakur said, in a specific manner. So each and everyone has different traits and attributes. So each has their own way of specific way of being about or becoming, and which controls our being and explores our becoming. So when we say controls our being, as Sanchanima was extensively saying about Yajan Ishtabhuti, and these are the principles which controls our being and explores our becoming. When I say explores our becoming, that is in a way that is sustainable for myself, for my family, for my environment, my society, my state, my country, for the whole universe. So that should be a way of natural progression of our becoming. And the last, and this is the Mani is saying, Satta Sat Chidanandamaya. He, the existence of all that exists, thereby he is the Sat. And he, that is the responsiveness, which is Chit, Sat Chit. And Anand. Anand has come from Nam Dhatu, which means to grow. So Satta means all this being has these three tendencies, Sat, Chit, Anand. And its by default it's asat virodhi. That means whatever is not conducive to our being, we stay away from it. That is its nature. And Satchidananda Pariposhana Tai Dharma. That is Dharma, as we discussed, to live and grow. With that, I think we are already time. And so with that, I will just rest and stay here. We are running out of time. And as we know, we have a lot of programs lined up, so we'll interact more if you have any questions or anything. Thank you everyone for listening. Joy Guru.
Jai Guru, Vishwajit Bhai, thank you for keeping it succinct and to the point. So Sant Kabir said, धर्म कर्म हर कोई जाने, मर्म न जाने कोई, मर्म जाने जो धर्म का, सबको जाने सोए. और धर्म का मर्म श्री ठाकुर से दूसरे को बचाना, अपने बचना, इसको हिंदू धर्म समझना. So what all those principles that help in being and becoming of life, that uphold and nurture existence, is what we collectively call as dharma. Even though they are a set of principles, we cannot live it an abstract idea in mind and try to grow comprehensive. We cannot. Holistically, completely, we cannot. We need a living manifestation of these principles in flesh and blood, to whom we can relate to and we can grow. So, such incarnations do come from time to time. Unless we see their manifested form, it doesn't help us. Then think about it. There are so many children here, and our program is leading into the youth program. These children here who are 5-6 years old, if you want to tell them about, let's say, the beauty of compassion or mercy, how can we tell volumes we can tell about this abstract of mercy and compassion? That will make little sense to them. But if you weave a story around a king who was merciful in his action, somebody committed a stealth, but when that culprit was brought to the king said, "Why did you steal?" "I stole because I was hungry. I was hungry for 2 days, I had nothing to eat, so I stole an apple or a bread." The king will say, "Okay, this is not a crime, it is okay." Now, this act of mercifulness will teach more about mercy than many statements and definitions about the word mercy. We need a manifested form of all principles of dharma to understand dharma. And that is what Vishwajit Bhai spoke about. So we'll continue with our program. This brings us pretty much to the far end of seminar today. Thank you for this ardent hearing, and we will now wind up this one. Sharp at 2:10, I am told that we will start the youth program. We'll take a few minutes time to set this one up. But essentially, I see some of my colleagues here today, some people are new, some of us have been followers of Sri Thakur for a long time. We know that. This is a journey. It's a journey of life. It's said that the longest of all journeys starts with a single step. Because our ultimate goal and destination is far. If you feel tired, if you feel overwhelmed, you don't start, you won't reach anywhere. It's a journey. Not only we start, there will be times when we feel we have achieved a lot. That should not slow us down. That should not make us complacent. To start, Thakur says, Veera Bhugya Vasundhara. Read the scriptures. Veera Bhugya, those who are strong, those who are not weak, those who are intrepid, those who are essentially who have overcome weakness at their heart, they are the ones who can start on this path of dharma. And what are the three fundamental characteristics of this bravery? Is a Veera Bhugya Vasundhara. और ये वीरत्व के लक्षण क्या है? It is विश्वास, निर्भरता और आत्मत्याग. Faith, reliance and giving up of self-conceit are the fundamental traits of bravery. So we will continue with our journey. So thank you very much for this today's program. Let me give Dhwani. Vande Purushottamam. Vande Purushottamam. Vande Purushottamam. परम प्रेममय श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की. परम प्रेममय श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की. परम प्रेममय श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की. परम आराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़वा की. परम आराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़वा की. परम आराध्या जगत जननी श्री श्री बड़वा की, परम पूज्यपाद 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 श्री श्री आचार्य देव की, परम पूज्यपाद श्री श्री आचार्य देव की, परम पूज्यपाद श्री श्री आचार्य देव की, सत्संग की, सत्संग की, सत्संग की। वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम्, वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम्, वंदे पुरुषोत्तमम्। परम प्रेम श्री श्री ठाकुर अनुकूल चंद्र जी की।